doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
And what's up? What's going on, everybody? It is a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. I am joined by two of the towers today of power, Richie Giuliano, and, of course, Scotty, the main man, Mincher. Did I just scare you already with a clap?
I'm so mad at myself.
You should be mad at yourself. A new look, though? Freshly shaven?
Yeah, freshly shaven. No chops, no mustache.
And the hair? Can we give us a little preview of the haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Looking fly. Fresh as a daisy. And then you wear that absolutely. Well, I can't say too much because I'm a Bernie Kosar fan. Just not the team he played for that you're representing today.
Yeah, I trying to, send good vibes Cleveland's way, but
you came in, you were all about it.
Yeah.
You got time to change the momentum, they said.
Yeah.
So
change the momentum.
We got a lot to talk about today, boys. A couple hot button topics, if you will, in the youth category of should everybody get participation trophies? Should you get a trophy for every single level that you are at? Or the second topic, Mr. Giuliano, this is your topic. You want to give it away to the people?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, my second topic would be when it comes to high school athletics, high school academics, or college athletics, or college athletics. The big question is, does athletics have a big role in the attendance of a high school or university? And we could discuss that coming up.
That's going to be a big one. And again, hot button topics. We want you to get involved. So hey, make sure you make your way over to the comment section, get involved, type in your opinions, and maybe if there's something you want to talk about, we can do a little change up.
Yeah.
A little four finger wiggler down at the bottom. So, but first, we got to get to it. Has to be, as it always is. Scotty, what is it?
It is this day in sports history.
Roll it. So on this day in sports history, not a whole lot of bacon shaken, as they say. It's June 29th, which means that on this day in 1995 years, it was George Foreman losing his IBF boxing title for refusing to refight Axel Schultz. So not because he lost a match, but he refused to fight someone that the IBF apparently wanted him to fight, and he said, I'm good. In 1995, George Foreman was starting to make grills. I think. It was about that time.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like he was ready to be done.
Didn't he, knock somebody out when he was, 50?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Should
we do a little George Foreman search?
What's the video we were just watching about that wrestler who said that one guy didn't show up from
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe,
Scott
Mr.
Hall.
Foreman didn't show up.
Rest in peace, Scott Hall. George Foreman was born in 1949. So he was not quite 50 years old.
He was 45?
In 81 fights, he only lost 5 times.
Wow. He knocked out 68 opponents in 81 fights.
And knocked out everybody else with the outstanding job his grill could do.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
The Foreman Grill. So
I think a lot of people know him because of that.
I mean, George Foreman right now is worth $300 million, and the majority of it is the grill.
Yeah, 100%.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you the entrepreneurship side of it. You don't get as beat up, technically. Like on a daily basis, you get grinded down a little bit. But if you don't get as much as beat up as you do in boxing, you're going to do all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And I think, going to that with George Foreman being an incredible boxer and then, continuing his legacy and, getting back into an industry without, having to box. Like a lot of the athletes in this current day are going to be doing that because of how much money that they made during their professional careers. I mean, once you retire, say you're 43 years old in, baseball, what do you do for the rest of your life?
You got a little seed money from those purses.
You got some seed money. You could invest in a business and you could create a business. So I think we're going to see a lot of that coming up in the next couple of centuries.
So I heard a rumor that they approached Hulk Hogan before they approached George Foreman to be the guy for the grill.
Really?
And Hogan said no because he did a some kind of pasta press or something earlier in his career, and it just absolutely went belly up.
Yeah.
So he said no to the grill, and George Foreman said yes, and all of a sudden it was bank, absolute bank and cash left and right. So well played, George Foreman. Another knockout. So add another victory to your list. Scotty, your thoughts on that?
Didn't the Hulk get like his own show, though, like a reality?
Oh yeah, it was Hogan Knows Best.
Yeah.
What are there?
But yeah, I mean, you can do that after having such a great career. I mean, more power to you. I heard he lost a lot of his money, and I'm talking about Foreman during his boxing days. But with the grill, man, in the cells of the grill, I can't get this flies all over me today.
Sorry, dude.
I feel like Linus from the Peanuts, man. I don't know if I need to shower. It's like, do I smell bad? But
we opened up that door to let everything. We got flooded on Monday, so we had to open up the door. We had a giant fan. I think. Did you see the fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did see it.
So we had to take that out. But it was one of those things where did you get the fly in your mouth? That just happened.
I
You
feel
swallow
like
a fly?
I just swallowed a fly.
Oh my gosh, this has turned completely off the rails.
It
But
is.
it's now dried out. We had to take the fan back, but the flies have remained since we had that door open. So we're playing who could kill the most flies in this. No harms or no flies were actually harmed. Wink, wink. During the filming of this podcast. So sorry, Scott, I keep cutting you off.
And I don't think
That thing's living on you.
That thing is living on the line.
I'd hit you right now on the one, but I'm afraid I might hurt you.
Yeah. You could I could take one shot. It's like George Foreman.
Now it's on me.
But no, I was just saying, like, I wonder, because it's already been reported after his playing days are over, whenever that may be, Tom Brady's going to automatically go into broadcasting. But you have to wonder if name that big, I mean, most people agree now, best quarterback ever to go. You have to wonder if he's going to have something like.
Well, he's already got TB12. He just released his own
brand,
clothing line.
Then the documentary came out.
Yep.
With him.
So he's got a lot of money.
I think he's all right.
And he's got Under Armour and is it Subway? Yeah, and
Subway.
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile?
Yeah, of all of them, I was like, really, T-Mobile? Like that's the one you're gonna go with? But hey, they're paying him.
pays you.
Exactly.
Plus, his wife isn't hurting financially either.
No, that family's in good shape.
Yeah.
All right, so just a little FYI. Check this out. Terry Gene Bollea, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan, passed up on the George Foreman grill and is worth a net of $25 million. So you got George Foreman, that is $300 million, and Hulk Hogan worth $25 million. I bet he's kicking himself for that.
Yeah.
That might be one of those decisions you're sitting there like, I should have just went the extra mile.
Yeah.
Should have went the extra mile. All right, boys. Again, great topics today to discuss. One of them near and dear to our heart. I know we've talked about it before, not as much in detail as I think we're going to talk about today, but participation trophies. This is a ongoing theme, and one of the things that we need to talk about, we need to address, and just really get it out there. Should everybody get a trophy in youth sports? Yes, no. How does it hurt the kids? How does it help the kids on both sides? We're going to play pro and con. I'm going to let you guys – here's the trick, all right? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I feel strongly one way, and if you've watched this show, you know which way I feel. But I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to try to debate the opposite side.
Okay.
Debate the opposite side. I'm going to try not to flop to the side that I actually end up on. So with that said, should we give Scotty first go at it?
Yeah.
All right, Scotty, first go. Should kids be given a participation trophy for whatever they do from the ages of 4 to the ages of 12?
So we're basing this on second place, right?
12 to 14. 5 to 14.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't know. To me, like, it's baseball season, so I guess I'll use baseball as an example. In baseball, you fail more than you succeed. If you succeed 30% of the time, you're one of the best ever. But I think it's because of the failures. I think it teaches a lot of people, once they have failure and they face a little bit of adversity, it kind of teaches you and gives you resilience. I don't know. I feel like in society, I don't want to get too political here because I'm not big on politics, kind of indifferent. But I just feel like society, like in certain ways, I feel like we've just reached a point where, everyone's got to be happy. At worst, we got to find a happy medium. But I think failing, it sounds cliche, but I really do believe our struggles do make us stronger. So in adversity, I think you just gain so much. And another thing is, life's not always, it's not perfect for anybody, no matter what advantages you have, how many good things you have going your way growing up. At some point, adversity is going to hit. And I just feel like it sends a bad message that, your things are going to be good all of the time, because that's certainly not the case in life.
All right, that's fair enough.
I think he drilled that. Honestly, I think participation trophies should be given to first and second place. Now, once you get past second place, I don't think there should be any trophies given. I know when I was a kid, in Little League Baseball, a lot of the time you just get a trophy for being on a team. And, that's cool when you're a kid and you love that trophy in your hand. But, I think it should just go to first and second place. And, a lot of people might disagree and say, oh, second place really shouldn't deserve it either. But, I think the fact that you're able to get to that championship game and you're able to put that much hard work and sometimes you're the best team, but you just fall short in that day. And, one day doesn't determine the rest of the season. So I'm going to say first and second place should get a trophy, but
champion and runner up.
Once you get past 2, no.
So it's interesting to me that you guys are talking about that, because in our society, kind of the way it started was you have first, second, and third. That's the podium. When you guys think about track or sports like that in the Olympics. So if we're just crowning essentially the champion and not giving way to the second, third, and sometimes you see all the way to sixth, then there's no acknowledgments, and there's no reason for some of these guys and gals to participate in. So to me, it's really interesting that you get trophies or ribbons or whatever it be for participating. I'm okay with it. I'm trying really hard. To defend this other side. It's so hard for me right now because I just want to tear it up.
Yeah.
But honestly, like it's not a hell with it. I can't do it. Participation trophies are dumb. I hate them. Yes. Okay. T-ball, there's no score, so there's no first place. There's no runner-up. Yes. Participation trophy. First year of football, first year of these sports, to get them involved, to get them feeling good about themselves, to be able to get them a little pat on the back. Cool. I'm with it. After that, sorry. First place, second place. Richie, I'm with you 100%. I tried my hardest. I'm sitting there trying to calculate a debate in my head.
How can I say this? Like, how can I get around this?
It just doesn't.
There's no logical explanation for it. Like, you want to reward the best two teams, like the teams that put in the effort, the teams that
championship.
Championship that, sacrifice a lot to get to that point, because most of the time the championship is played when the other teams are sitting at home in an air-conditioned room on the couch. So there's no reason that they should get a trophy when somebody's out there sweating and playing hard. And, they might fall short by a run, a point, whatever it may be. But you know what? They were out there. They competed. So I think first and second place is fitting.
If you're putting a seventh place trophy or seventh place ribbon in a box and keeping it for safekeeping, to break out at your senior graduation party, I think you got more problems than anything. You know what I mean? Because
I think a lot of people are satisfied with that, though. I think that's the problem. I think, especially once you enter big tournaments and big competitions, you just think, oh, I'm top 10. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like,
this is the land of equality, and I get it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants equality, but and I've said this before, I think everybody just wants supremacy. You know what I mean? They don't care necessarily about who wins and who loses as much as they do who can speak the loudest and whose squeakiest wheel gets the grease. And treating a seventh place team like a first place team is wrong. Because that first place team probably did a lot. First and second, let's just be real. They probably did a lot that the other teams didn't do to prepare mentally, physically, right on down the line. And yet the seventh place team, eighth place team wants to be acknowledged just as the other one. And I think that's wrong. I think there's a lot of wrong to that. I mean, I think it's wrong to have multiple valedictorians. You get one.
You could argue for one. Yeah.
It's one. Because at the end of the day, someone got a grade that wasn't up to snuff.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories about arguments and going to board meetings to make sure that your kid listen, I get it. My mom has fought for me on many a day, but in seventh grade, that magic moment happened where Mama Yoakley found out the hard way that her kid wasn't exactly the bee's knees.
Yeah.
And she came home with a wooden spoon, man. She came home and she was ready to give it. And kids don't get that anymore.
No,
they don't get the harsh realities. And, again, you want equality. I'm cool with that, but you have to earn that. And if you get an 8th place trophy in baseball and you want to be on the podium or you want everything that the first place gets, there's something wrong with that to me.
I mean, I will say this, I give a lot of credit to my family who raised me the right way. And, my mom who has, taught Josh and myself the right and wrong ways about life. And, she has really taught Josh and I the competitive nature of sports and not just that, but life in general, especially with my dad and what happened to him. But so a lot of people say that the younger kid doesn't get treated like the older one. And, there's certain things maybe around the house that it doesn't, but sports wise, my mom has, really pressured Josh to play the same way that I was played. So, it's kind of satisfying to see that though, because it's nice now Josh is playing and, she expects the same out of him that she did from me. So I think my mom is, one of the rare parents out there who still, I don't want to say punishes people, but, lays the line down, right?
Well, and the part of the issue, I mean, you get punished in life.
Yeah.
Like if you make wrong decisions, I mean, we're and again, not to get too political, when you make wrong decisions, you're punished for them.
Yeah.
You make bad decisions, you go to jail.
Yeah.
You get
grounded.
fines, Yeah, exactly. And nobody wants that anymore. You know, everybody's standing up on their rights and you know, the justification for what their actions are. And the reality is if you lose, which in life you're going to, you lose. You don't get what the winner gets.
If somebody is applying for the same job as you and you don't get the job, you don't get paid like that person.
Mommy doesn't get to go in or
Yeah.
daddy doesn't get to go in and explain, hey, well, this is my son. You don't understand.
Yeah.
No, you don't got it.
You don't got it. And you're not getting the same pay and you're not working there.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between that and a participation trophy?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And I just like, I don't know totally how you guys feel about it, but I can't wrap my head around. Like, to me, it would be kind of insulting, like getting rewarded for just simply participating and not being.
There's no shame anymore.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, like using my situation as an example, because me and my dad have talked about this. I've talked about this with you, DJ. I even going back when you first hired me to be a part of the team here at YSN. And I know in your heart of hearts, like, you didn't hire me because, you know, you could see my life and heart and I have this disability. You hired me because you saw something in me and you knew I was passionate about it, and you knew that, you know, I could be a good asset here. And that's what, like, to me, it's always been insulting. Like, I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, I won the prom king, and I took it. It was cool, but I knew without a doubt in my mind, I'm like, I am extremely far from the most popular kid in this school. Like, I have my group of friends, but I knew it was kind of like a sympathy like crown, and it really bothered me because I'm like, man, like, you know, I have my group of friends, but like all these people that voted for me, like, they're like, they won't come up and talk to me. Like, I don't, like, this is kind of an insult.
Well, yeah, and I get that point, and that's, people don't usually hear that side of the story. They think they're doing something, you know, for somebody that because it makes them feel good, because they think, Scotty, you missed out on stuff, but the reality is you were engaged in as much stuff as you possibly could, and you still to this day. And you're right. We've talked about this a zillion times. The only disability I see in you is the disability to pick a good team in sports. That's the only disability I see in you. But otherwise, I mean, you're right. And people don't accept things as they are anymore. You know, if you're in a championship game and you lose, you still see people after the game complaining about, well, if we would have done this and this and this. Well, you could do that with anything, you know? And that doesn't make you a champion. That doesn't, you know, a champion, sometimes a champion can show up even in a loss, right? And you feel, okay, wasn't our best day. We still had the better team, and you can go about your business. But there's other people that just will not let it go. Nope. It's, you know, that game wasn't fair. We should have won that game. Umpires did this. Did you hear their fans?
It was rigged.
Yeah. All radars here, boys. Scotty, this is radar. In what year that you were prom king or what year were you prom king at Louisville High School?
That was 2007.
2007?
Yeah.
Eat it, Russell. Eat it, radar.
For you, Russell. What do you call him? The gopher? Russell the gopher.
His satellites are turning around right now, getting ready to shoot down us.
Yeah, you better get those satellites ready for audible call.
Oh gosh, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that.
I saw So the first week, I think I saw on the YSN the first game is the 18th
18th of August.
It says it always been.
No.
See, I thought it was 1 week.
It was usually the
after
26th,
It was
25th,
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought.
but they
So
moved it up.
early this year.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that yet. That to me, that's way too, because it's going to be the dog days of summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
It's going to be bad. Those guys, it's going to be troublesome. But back to our topic with participation trophies, and do kids get it? They do nowadays, because nobody wants to lose, and with participation period down in all of these leagues in youth sports, they want to keep kids and parents as happy as they possibly can. So instead of acknowledging the champion, so to speak, they acknowledge everybody on an equal, and maybe just a little bit extra pat on the back or pat on the butt for these kids who win the championship. And I think ultimately that waters down, because I think those kids that work hard are just going to start saying, well, I get the same thing anyway if I don't work hard. So why should I put in the extra times and the extra reps and all that comes with it? This fly is asking for it, man.
Yeah,
He is asking for it.
man.
You're gonna hear some bang on the table.
Be like red,
Yeah.
red down at seam.
I mean, do you feel like it's getting watered down because kids are just like, hey, I'm gonna get what I get anyway, so why do I put in the extra time?
It's a lot different than when I was a kid and growing up is communities and getting outside and playing with your buddies and competing in the backyard. And I think everything starts at the backyard, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's where the most competitive games are played, and that's where you learn a lot about your childhood. Honestly, I mean, we've had some brawls in the cul-de-sac at the preserve, and Quinn can tell you that we've had some serious games. But you know what? You come home with a black eye, and your mom says you got to toughen up, man. I mean, that's how life goes. And nowadays, if that would have happened, you got the whole entire police force there at the house. So I mean, it's different, and kids are raised differently now, especially with their phones. And I go to some of these games, I'm like, the girl's like 6 years old, she's got an iPhone. It's like, what in the world? I had a little flip phone, and I'm 22, so a lot of people are like, look at this kid. But I had like a slide phone when I was in middle school that you just text on, and that's about it. You could only text like 5 people, I think, because you can't go over the data numbers.
Yeah.
But, I was still kind of raising that generation a little bit. But now it's completely different. It's just everything's right there, easily available to everybody. Nobody wants to do anything. Just brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you might have used this before, DJ, on one of the Power Hours in the past, but summing up this society, I think you put it great the one day. I think you said we live in it's a microwave society, like everything.
Oh, everything's now.
Yeah. Now
there's no stoves in the society nowadays.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. Like, I get, like, we should all start off at the same spot, but there's a huge difference from starting off at the same spot and then everybody ending at the same spot.
Yep.
To me, that's where I have just a big problem.
That's a great analogy. That's perfect. I think about a track whenever you say that, and everybody starting at the same starting line, I think is fair, but not everybody's going to finish that race.
No.
And not everybody's going to finish it in the time you do. And for me, it comes down and boils to, what are you willing to put in? And if you're willing to put in, and listen, sometimes the best player, the best, the smartest student doesn't always get that number one ranking. Sometimes, and they're almost apt to do it because they're the most competitive people you're going to meet. And I think that's the beauty about sports is sports makes you more competitive. And I'm a huge competitor, like overly. We talked about it yesterday. T-ball, there's a switch you got to be able to turn off, right? And it's all about awareness. And some people are losing that switch because everybody wants to water down the Kool-Aid a little bit so everybody can have some.
Yeah.
And the championship, Gatorade, not everybody gets a taste of it, and that's what makes it so sweet when you do. That's why when people win gold medals, they cry.
Yeah.
That's why, even the silver medals, people are bawling their eyes out because all their hard work has paid off in recognition. I don't think there's many 6-year-olds out there that are crying about getting, excited about getting the 7th place trophy. It's just a parent saying, well, if they get one, my kid gets one.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way it should go. James Harrison, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, I remember this vividly. His kids were they got 2nd place in a football tournament. And he said, you're not going to give my kids trophies. So they didn't show up for the ceremony or they walked away. And people got all up in arms about it. But he said, if you get 2nd, you don't deserve a trophy. What do they get for being 2nd place in the Super Bowl?
You want to hear a funny story
Yeah.
about that? So this was a travel baseball tournament, and I'm not going to name any names, but I know the person that did this. So they get 2nd place. All right, really competitive tournament, like one of the best in Ohio, and they get 2nd place. Kid goes back to the parking lot. He's got his trophy, throws it into the woods, takes his trophy, smacks it, and then just chucks it right into the woods. And he was a little bit older than I was at the time. So, I mean, that's kind of my generation still, the competitive nature and not wanting to become 2nd place. But I always thought that was kind of a funny story and something I could bring up during this time. And you know what? The tournament director confronted that team and that person, and the parent stood up for their son and was like, yeah, I don't care what you do. There's nothing you could do to us right now.
What?
Don't give us 2nd place trophies.
So we all see runner-up trophies, right? They give them in, state championships. They get the runner-up trophies. Nobody's excited to go out there and get that.
Nobody wants to go out like, oh, that always irked me when you had to stand in line and clap when they announce all the 1st place trophies and they put them around their head and they take pictures, and then you got to go up there and it's like, can we just get out of here?
I don't know why they have that 2nd place runner up.
Yeah.
Like
the 1st place is going to stay there because their parents are going to take pictures. They're going to celebrate on the mound. They're going to take a huge team photo behind the plate with their trophies on and their number 1's up. 2nd place, you're just out there for sympathy. It's brutal.
Nobody gets this.
Brutal.
Nobody gets this picture.
Yeah. 2nd place.
Nobody gets
like, it is the worst feeling in the world. And, maybe that's a good thing because you kind of get that gut in your stomach and you don't ever want that feeling again. And it kind of motivates you to win. But at the same time, it is absolutely embarrassing.
Not a fan of it. I think it should be, listen, you want to give a 2nd place runner-up trophy, whatever. Put it in the mail.
Coach.
Give it to the coach. Coach can take it. And if the kids want to take pictures around it, that's theirs. But like these, a lot of these tournaments, they're using it as publicity because we paid for that trophy. We're going to make sure that take pictures with the 1st place. Let the 2nd place do. And if the kid throws his trophy in the woods, it's their trophy.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
The only thing you
they
can do
paid for it realistically.
Yeah, the only thing you can do at that point is like a littering charge.
Yeah,
that's it.
Was it Nelly, guys, that had that song? What does it take to be number 1?
Because 2 is not a winner and 3 nobody remembers. I remember that. We were looking at Nelly's house the other day. Looking it up, his abandoned mansion, $20 million mansion that he just walked away from.
Sometimes I'll get sentimental and put Ride With Me on because it reminds me of like elementary, like 5th, 6th grade. I'll listen to Nelly Ride With Me.
You talk about sentimental. I'm getting sentimental. That was I was a lot older than you, Scotty. Ride With Me. My gosh, we're gonna take
a frat house.
We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about athletics and academics. Who should get the cut? A lot of people weighing in on both sides. We want to know from you who is leading or who's wagging the tail on who when it comes down to academics, athletics, and who should get the cut of the money. All that and more on the Ysn Power Hour, this Wednesday edition. Right after this. reliability, innovation, scale. These 3 values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Welcome back, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you alongside the dynamic duo, Richie Giuliano, and, of course, Scotty Mincher, just finishing up the talk on participation trophies. I tried to stay on the one side. I couldn't. I like I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm just sitting there and it's agitating me even thinking about the other side. Just thinking about the other side. So if you have another perspective, seeing things through another lens, we want to hear from you why it's important to have these participation trophies, to be able to acknowledge 7th, 8th place, 21st place, whatever it may be. Why is it important to you? We want to hear from you in the comments box, but we move on to the academic athletic side of things. Richie, preface this because I thought this was a really interesting topic that is being played out on multiple dimensions of athletics and academics. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, basically the question is, how much does college, high school athletics have to do with the enrollment of a school or a university? Now, there are multiple directions you can go with this. And, you know, I'm going to start first off with the Ohio State University and their football program. How many students do you think go to the Ohio State University out of high school because of their football program and to experience that atmosphere for the student section? Because there's so many different schools you could attend around this area. When it comes to D1 colleges, there's one in our backyard at Youngstown State. There's a plethora of others at the D2 level and D3 levels. But a lot of kids go to Ohio State for the college experience and not the academics. So how much of a factor do you think that has?
It's at least 50. To me, it's at least 50. I mean, when you talk about kids that are going to Ohio State or a major school, Penn State's a big one because Ohio State, usually you're in the playoffs for football.
Every year.
But Penn State, they're not. But yet people always go out and say, hey, I can't wait to go to Penn State to be part of the whiteout, you know, and that stuff. So I'm really interested from that standpoint. And that being said, the Leininger's here. G Money is here. You want to make an appearance on the Power Hour? In front of the camera? Come on, make an appearance. Come on over. Stand between these guys. You don't get to talk because you can't be trusted. Duck down a little bit. There you go. We don't want any crotch shots. There he is. The chief photographer of YSN, Mr. Gary Leininger, is here.
Brought Mary's Pizza for everybody.
Oh,
I've actually never had it.
Now you get your first try. Get your first. You have had Mary's Pizza?
I have heard nothing but fantastic things about this place.
An official sponsor of YSN, by the way. And also give a shout out to Gary because he is the owner of the Lisbon Dairy Queen.
Yes, he is.
Hooks us up all the time. And what's the special today?
Today is 16-ounce blizzards for $4.
$4. Get out there and support him. A local guy, huge supporter of YSN. Get out there and support that. If you're in Lisbon or anywhere close, Salem, United, even in Lisbon, Latonia, get out there, support them. I'll make the trip from East Palestine. I got nothing, but this is like vacation week for me. I might float out
I'm
and see.
packed.
You're loaded. You're picking up the slack for me. Welcome to the grind. Gary, what's your thought on participation trophies before we?
No, no way, no how.
You don't like participation
No.
trophies?
No.
Even as the guy that usually gets 8th place?
Well, that's 8 out of 7.
No participation
I'm
trophies?
Not a big fan of that.
Okay.
But the kids like it.
Kids
They
do like
get a
it.
trophy, sits on the mantle for a week, and then mom puts it away, and you never see it again.
I like it. Now, how do you feel about academic athletics? So Richie set this up for him again. Most people go to Ohio State
Yes.
just for
football.
to take part in the football.
The whole
Realm.
Yeah, oh,
experience,
yes,
not the
yes,
academics
yes.
itself, but the fan experience.
Yes.
You
What
believe
is your
that?
opinion? You think that's true?
Or would you just go to Ohio State because it's the State University of Ohio? Or Kent State or whatever that school may be. Do you think people kind of wrap around?
I think they go down to Ohio State because of the football.
Okay. So you're
I
right.
agree.
So I put it out there, 50% of people would do that. You think that's about accurate? Higher?
I don't know. That might 50. No,
I think it's
it's
on.
hard telling.
Because you got to think there's a lot of scholarships they give away for other sports,
There is.
So, but football football is the one that kind of funds everything else. It's the same in high school. So when you look at it, and we can flip this to high school too, some people are attracted to high schools and where they're going to have their kids play
Yep.
by how their athletic programs are.
Exactly. And open enrollment is the reason that there is open enrollment
Mhm.
because of athletics.
Yep. And you, when you're looking at houses now, like where you're going to raise your kids, academics, of course, is going to go into that decision, but it's also going to be
Not for everybody, though.
right. Part of the discussion is going to be
Yeah.
athletics. Like, how's their football team?
Yeah.
How is the basketball team? How is the baseball, softball, track? How is that? Do they have it? Are they in, how are the numbers? Things of that nature when you buy a home now. So it's interesting to me. This is a very, very interesting topic from a standpoint of being able to direct things. And there's arguments that are happening
is.
right now because professors, academic advisors are saying that, no, they're coming here because we are ranked right here.
Yeah.
And the athletics are saying, well, why do we fill up the stadium each and every week, no matter who we're
Yeah.
playing?
The Penn States, the Ohio States, the Michigans, where 100,000 people come in.
Every week. And we're having trouble in some stadiums putting 2,000 people in the
The
stands.
Kent States, the Akrons.
Yep. Yeah, it's trouble. It's trouble. But I'm with you. I think it comes down to a lot of the athletics.
And the other avenue I was going to talk about.
Okay.
How much do you think a big run, such as a Florida Gulf Coast making it all the way to the Elite Eight, or a school like I don't want to speculate, but Coastal Carolina, when they make it to the College World Series, how much do you think that helps attendance at that school for the following years?
I think it builds excitement. I mean, you look at what it did to YSU when they won the conference a few years ago. It's more than a few years ago now, but all of a sudden they were a baseball power, and people looked at them in that way. Football's the same thing. I mean, look at basketball. What's the team that went on a run this year? It was a Seton Hall. No, what was the coach left already? Yeah, the coach left already.
The one that, oh my goodness.
And he's gone. And he ended up taking his kids with him.
Yes.
Got them all scholarships at this other college.
Oh, this is gonna kill me.
But that school was a hotbed now and can use that as a recruitment tool to say, hey, look what we did. Maybe it's the coach, maybe it's not. Come here and we'll find out.
Well, I saw, some analytics on numbers after a big run, like after Florida Gulf Coast made that run to the Elite Eight, their enrollment was up by 1,000 the year after. So that's the argument I'm trying to make. How much does athletics factor into the enrollment of a university?
I think there's a lot of that, the run, but it's also who's in charge. And I think we're going to see that with YSU. And we're going to have to take a long look at this because with Jim Tressel retiring in 2023, what is that going to do? Because there's a lot of people I know for a fact that were attracted to YSU because Mr. Tressel was there.
Because he did so many great things for the university.
And from athletic, academic, all of it. Holistically, YSU was on a different level because Jim Tressel. And I think everybody bought into that because perception is reality.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen now when he steps away in 2023 for good reason? I mean, the gentleman's 70 years old. He can only do so much for the university.
Yeah.
And if anybody deserves a statue, I think we're all in agreement here. Coach Tressel and President Tressel deserves two statues right next to each other, holding hands with Pete and Penny. But to me, it's one of those things where you talk about going on a run. YSU's been on an incredible run as a university since 2014 when Jim came back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of it goes into it. I think you're absolutely spot on. Scotty?
I think a lot goes into it too. And that's something like I didn't get a chance to talk with you about it earlier, but you have to wonder, like, because he had such a giant impact, and I know DJ, you interviewed him, I think it was for FCA, like about a year or so ago. And I just think now for YSU, I'm a little bit concerned, I guess you could say. But, it only takes, one person to come in and, they could have everybody buying in. But I think athletics plays a major part in, like, you guys were playing as Boise State on the Xbox, and I think athletics and the blue turf and everything that helps. But once they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta War, whenever that was,
there's a little notoriety.
Yeah. So,
but there's also notoriety for our game because Steve Leslie's the head coach of Boise State.
Is he?
He is. We made him.
And
he's the head coach.
We beat Georgia.
And who was the first team
Michigan
we beat?
State.
Michigan State. So we're 2-0.
Do you make the schedules up?
We can make them however we want.
Oh, so you play all powerhouses?
No, we still got to win our conference.
Yeah.
But we got Notre Dame coming up in 2 weeks. Richie and I are going to take care of that. Quinn's our general manager, so you make sure that things are overseen and recruiting expert. So, I mean, these are the dog days for us. We're getting the games at night, but that's like all we have. So we do a little NCAA 13.
I think 14.
Is it 14? 13 or 14. And,
Gary helps us out after the game with some treats.
There we go. We get some ice cream after.
Happy.
Hot eats, cold treats. But no, I'm with you guys. I think that there's a lot to it. There is a little bit of that you get a little love whenever you win a big game like that. I mean, imagine if YSU or Kent State or Akron or one of these teams stepped in and they were in the men's and women's like Final Four, both of them. What would happen?
What about baseball a few years ago for Kent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2014.
And football, if somebody loses, they're in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really is incredible. And there's so many bowls nowadays that you're going somewhere as long as you win a couple games. You win a couple of those. So,
and I know it's going to happen. I cannot wait for the day we finally see YSU men's basketball make the field.
I want to see both of them. I think the women are real close.
Projected to make it. Both of them are this year.
That would be
They're projected
insane.
to by Joe Lenardi's preseason bracket. Because the men have added a lot from that portal, and the women, they added an SEC caliber forward.
Well, I don't know what that means because they were on Ron Podesta's preseason poll a couple of years ago. So both of them were supposed to win, but also the Indians were supposed to win the World Series in 2017. I can't remember.
That's actually their best team that they had. 2017. They were better in 2017 than they were in 16.
Did they win the championship?
No.
Okay.
He also thinks
that must suck.
No, that's what made it worse because they lost to the Yankees in the game.
He also thinks the Guardians, as they're constructed right now, could in another year or two have a run like they did in the 90s. So I'm not really. I mean,
you buying that? You buying that?
But
they've got good young talent, but I
The,
don't
the
know.
90s, they were
They're gonna
so loaded, though. They had stars at
They
every.
were packed.
There wasn't a weak spot in their lineup. They're not going to have that again.
There was weak spots in the lineup
Not. I
in the
mean,
90s.
Not really.
In the lineup,
In the starting lineup,
remember Eric Plunk was a starting pitcher for the Cleveland Indians.
I mean, their batting order.
Okay.
Batting order.
I'm trying to think. Which year? 95, 97?
Any of those 90 years. I mean, were they really weak offensively?
No, they weren't weak. They were. I mean, they had Albert Bell as your 4-hitter.
And he had
like Diaz as your 8-hitter.
50 doubles and 50 homers.
Sandy Alomar, I think, was the weakest part of that lineup. He just wasn't good offensively, except if he's the All-Star game in Cleveland.
97, he had a really good year, but other than that, he was, adequate. But like, he still wasn't, like you're saying, he wasn't a superstar, but he wasn't a weak spot either. I don't think they had one weak spot in that.
Well, they must have had some weak spot because they didn't win the World Series.
That's their second baseman.
They got the participation trophy that year.
They did get to 2 of them.
And you know the worst part? The worst part about that whole run.
Sorry to cut you off.
If there wasn't a strike in 94, we would have won it.
No, that goes back to like the best team, best athlete doesn't always get first place.
That's Bush in baseball, though, because you got 7 games.
I still think in 95 they were the best team.
Then why didn't they win? They didn't even go 7.
They should have. And they should have won in 2007.
Yes.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
And the Pirates are just stacking up those participation trophies, and we're loving it. They're like pancakes at IHOP, baby. I love it.
What do you think is more likely, DJ? The Browns win the Super Bowl
Pirates.
in these next 5 years?
Pirates.
Pirates.
I love O'Neal Cruz. I love him. Now, if they hang on to him, but if they deal him like 2 years from now, oh gosh, I might be done.
The amount of bad trades they have had over the years, like look at all the talent across the league that they have had in Pittsburgh.
The pitching,
Garrett Cole, Glass now, he's phenomenal.
Shane Baz.
I mean, the list goes on and on. You can go on and on
what
about
year
the talent.
was that? 20.
I don't want to live this, guys.
I thought the 1 year when they had I think they maybe won 100 games.
No, it was like 92, 90.
But
98, something like that.
They had enough talent to win the World Series, but then they went up against Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, I remember that.
We just have bad
we
memories
lost to
here.
the Cubs too, so there you go.
You think that's the same thing?
Well,
I think it's
you
worse.
guys were in the World Series.
Worse.
You were in the World Series.
Yeah, but I think it's worse.
No. Stop. Because you're sitting there and you're like, well, if the Browns even got to the world or get to the Super Bowl, I'd be so happy. I'd be so elated. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. And then out of your mouth comes, well, I think it's horrible if they get to the World Series and lose. And I think that's where, no, man. Which side are you on, Scotty? Which side are you on?
You know what side I'm on, because I said that it doesn't say the Browns might win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years on that whiteboard. I predicted they will. So I'm all about they got to raise that Lombardi trophy.
You think it's going to happen?
If it doesn't, yeah, I think it will.
You're full of it.
He's
full of it.
Even if DEFCON 5 comes down and Watson gets suspended a full year, I think the next year it's buckle up because we're going to the Super Bowl.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Richie, it is time for our Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? We'll have you go first right after this. It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric in North Lima, Ohio. Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, anything you plug in, zap, zip, zap. you go to Joe Dickey Electric. Make sure you know, and they know that YSN is the one to get a hold of them, or, just set up your own stuff at DickeyElectric.com. Do not set up your own electricity. That's not where I was going with that. Make sure you call them or go on the web. Do not try that. Zip, zap, zip. That would be
the end of Scotty.
Oh, Scotty, you're especially not allowed to be electric in this place. We were Richie and I were talking about scrapping the show today and going on location because we weren't sure if we were going to be swimming into this studio today. But that all being said, Richard Juliano, your spark, sir.
I think my spark's got to be seeing Gary here in the studio today. Always a pleasure seeing you.
You got a crush on him?
We appreciate what you do for us, and
We're tight.
we are tight. We talk all the time. We're texting on the side all the time.
Oh, side text. Does
No,
he
but-
call you Snoop Dogg? Calls me Snoop.
No, we appreciate him bringing us some pizza. So that's my spark. I mean, I've never had it, so I'm excited to
Oh,
try
it's as like this, that thick.
Thick?
Oh, it's juicy. It's juicy. Scooter, what do you got?
It has to be, and it's not just during this show, but it's all day. Excuse me, the flying here. Like, no matter where I've been, when I was out there drinking my coffee and my refreshing ice cold Coca-Cola from it, I can't get away from it. It's all over my jersey, all in my face.
Well, you know what they say, flies are addicted to crappy jerseys. So there it is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my jersey is brown.
There it is. It's perfect.
I do like that old movie, The Fly, with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my God. You've completely gone rogue on us.
Come on, he's a Pittsburgh native. You gotta love Jeff.
I do not like Jeff Goldblum. I think he's a weirdo. Gary, you have a spark?
What actor isn't a weirdo?
Well, that's true. Michael J. Fox. Come on, let's do a spark. What's your spark? Positive or
You
negative?
got to get in the camera shot again.
Get your squad on. Snickers Blizzard.
Selling the Snickers Blizzard today.
You got the dirt pine?
Oh, yeah.
blizzards?
Yeah, with the gummy gummy worms in
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they're little sweet. DJ's son likes them.
Z.
Yes, he's an eater.
What do you got?
Bro.
Positive or negative?
That's got to be positive. I mean, life is good, man. It's 85 degrees out. It's going to be like this all week. Good for the ice cream world. Good for everybody. No cancellations in baseball or Class B or Little League or anything. So,
Yeah. All right, I like it.
That's
and
good.
to see you three here, that's
Oh my gosh, you walked into a zoo. Is what you did
well,
today.
I don't want to say that, but
Mine is going to be. I love this time of year because it is Little League baseball. I love Little League baseball. Softball on tonight, all night tonight. You have a call of a game.
6 o'clock.
And Anthony has a call of a game as well. A couple games maybe. So make sure you tune in to ysnlive.com for all those games. Let's get you real quick what we have available for you tonight. Oh, look at this. A nice little lineup for you. It's at 5:30, Creekside Fitness at Ballistic Baseball Class B. Then you have Duredge at Eagleware, also at 5:30. Nightline and Prospects Class B, that's 18U. Then you have at 6 o'clock, Austintown versus Canfield, 10U. Austintown at Pullen. Richie, that's you, right? No, you have Canfield Pullen, right?
Yeah, it might be a little mixed up there.
I think there's a little mix up there. Scrappers at Trenton. That game starts at 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock, Athletics and Astro Falcons. Also at 8 o'clock, Avalanche at Astro Falcons.
that's for the championship.
That is the hoist the trophy, me mateys.
If Astro wins, they win the title.
If not, game 3,
That'd be game 4.
game 4. Okay. And we also have 8 o'clock, Canfield Boardman, BCB. That's 12U softball and Whiting Roll-Offs at Avalanche. That's Class B 18U. So all of that and more on the network tonight for Richie Giuliano, for Gary Leininger, and for Scotty Mincher. That's going to do it for our show. Tune in tomorrow, Thursday, another special show trying to get you through this week. A lot of local sports right here on the network. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. YSN thanks you